Welcome to another day of Ether Raids. We're taking on a rematch today, and oh man, I really hate the whole safety fence thing. And this is one of those salty rematches where you're just like, man, what is this game coming to? I'm just doing it because I'm upset, just a bit. But like, thinking about it realistically, I'm trying to like, the way that he did it didn't really matter because ultimately it was just Batgirl, Embla plus Heathfelger. So that's enough debuffs to get Micaiah to not do her thing, essentially. So basically, the fence didn't really matter at the end of the day for that particular match, but I still hate it just because it exists. And there's no counter to it aside from, you know, trying to strike it with your whatever it's called again. What's that thing called? Catapults. So I don't know, man, until there's like some type of counter to the safety fence, which I feel like they needed to have implemented a long time ago and they just haven't done it yet. Offense is still going to be like heavily favored in terms of just initiating. They're always going to have safety to just go in and come out without any problems. I feel like at the time that it was implemented, it was needed, but now I don't really think there's a like there wasn't a need for them to upgrade it to level 2 first off. But between when it existed to now, Sigurd is what, like 3 years old at this point, 3 or 4 years old at this point, and there hasn't been a counter to the safety fence specifically. That's kind of crazy to me because it's it basically stops your defense from playing, and that's not the purpose, or that's not how the game mode was initially designed to function. Your defense was supposed to move basically because you set it up that way. So to have a structure that essentially stops your defense from doing what it's supposed to do is cheating. I feel like that is legitimately cheating. There's no strategy behind it whatsoever, and it's basically just giving offense a free turn. Gross. It was gross when it was initiated, I think, and it's still gross now. And also, just to roll it back, you did have saves at that point, I believe, when Sigurd was being a Sigurd thing. You did have saves, so there were ways around, you know, dealing with Sigurd. You just had to invest, or you would have needed to have pulled on that banner, and if you didn't, well, you know, tough luck. But there were ways to get around it. It wasn't like the end of the world. We would have survived, and it would have made save armors that much more desirable the months thereafter. But man, I think it's one of the worst structures that they've implemented into Ether Raids. Everything else doesn't do like that much harm, like for defense specifically, but yeah, the safety fence is just a big pain, man. I really hate it.
Finish.
Anyways, gotta shout out Heathfelger for being able to fly over those mountains, because I wouldn't have been able to do that without her. So that's a pro in terms of potentially keeping her around for off-season, but I really don't see myself doing that. But again, big shout out to Heathfelger for allowing me to reposition over that mountain, because I would not have been able to do that without her. So strengths up to Heathfelger there. And then this is the byproduct of not having the barricade on group here. I'm just able to do my warp shenanigans. I feel like he would have been better served to just keep it on him and just run him as a regular annoying unit than to equip it to him and make him a save. I don't think he's meant to be a save, in my opinion. But it depends on, you know, investment merges and stuff like that you want to throw into this unit. I think he will have longevity with just being an anti-warp unit until there's like some type of pass seal or some type of upgrade to the pass that's currently in the game that makes pass more viable to run in the B slot, or if more units just start getting pass in their weapon. But as long as he has that barricade thing, I think he'll still be useful. Just as an armored unit and as a mythic. I think he has a lot of longevity because of what he does. He doesn't need to be a save to end that thought. But aside from those things, man, again, I really hate the level 2 safety fence. I still think that even though that it's a thing, I still think that nukes need to be upgraded, because only having 2 units that can actually do damage is kind of limiting in terms of options. This game mode was meant to have options. Ether Age, you're supposed to be able to have different ways to clear maps, and the shortcomings are just down to you failing to bring the right team or failing to calculate exactly what you need to get the win. So being forced into having to run a specific unit just to counter is really annoying. And it costs a ton of blessings as well, because if I wanted to use one of either Bernadetta or this Ninja Lucina on defense, that's a blessing wasted. And I'm actually very thankful that they gave us those 9 blessings for light season, because I was running low. Even though, I mean, 40 is not that low, but it's getting close to 20, and I don't want to be anywhere close to 20. That goes back to like the days when I just started, and it was really, really a challenge to amass the amount of light blessings that I currently have. So I do not want to go back there. So yeah, anything that can prevent me from having to waste blessings or use multiple blessings on the same unit, I am all for that. So more units, please. Stronger units, please. Stronger nukes, please. I am definitely looking forward to that. The counter argument is that it means that hit and run will, be that much stronger, because now that the safety fence is there, they get 2 turns to do the thing. But it really doesn't matter, because they still would have been able to do it within the 1 turn if it's in the hands of a capable player. So I don't really count that as a big negative to upgrading the strength of the nukes.
Don't rush it.
But it is still a negative nonetheless, because there's no counterplay to the safety fence. And if it could be said that your team could still have units on that 2nd turn or the 3rd turn, whatever the case may be, to go after the opponent if they messed up the safety fence play. But that's still the case. If you mess up your safety fence play, then you still can get chased down and taken out that way. But I don't know, man. I don't think it's the worst thing, but I like the upgrading of the safety fence, because really, at the end of the day, if the opponent was going to win, the safety fence isn't really... I think it's more like a win more thing, but then at the end of the day, once your save is gone, if you're running a team that has a save unit, the rest of it falls apart. It's really just easy pickings from there. And that's where the nuke comes in. And currently there are nukes in the game that can counter the saves. And then also Embla, Micaiah, that interaction there. Once you can get past that, you've already lost. You can't really do anything about that. The fence does not impact that aspect of the game. I don't know. Hit and run, I don't necessarily see this as a boon for hit and run. It's pretty much still the same. It's still just as strong as it was before. Yeah, just probably want to leave it at that, because the only thing that can stop you are able to stop the bridal Embla thing by just running. I'm pretty sure eventually they'll get a defense mythic that does what Freya does for Anima season into Dark season. There will be something for Dark season like that, a Freya for Dark season eventually, I'm sure. But for now, Micaiah can do enough. I don't know, man. I don't see it being the end of the world at this point. Ooh.
Say the word.
I was really hoping that Carla would be able to get that. Kind of want her to do a thing, but she's missing. Well, it really just comes down to bonus stats, and also she's debuffed and panicked, so there's that as well. But I was really hoping she would get that. That's kind of unfortunate, but whatever. I'll figure it out. But yeah, again, I'm salty about the safety fence, and I actually sent feedback about it because I hate it so much. Also, I don't think I finished talking about the units from the banner that's currently live, I went 3 sparks. I kind of want to summon some more on it. I was wishing it was 4 sparks just because the distant counter is pretty pog. Ironically though, I don't know who to put it on. I feel like I have too many options, but I'm feeling like Halloween Nagi is probably going to be the one that I choose because I see myself using her in the long run. And then I don't know who else afterwards. I'm looking at my god swords and I'm kind of like drawing a blank in terms of which one of them to give it to. But I guess I'll continue that discussion in another video because I'm already done here. Yeah. GG's. See you in the next one. Welcome to another day of Ether Raids. We're taking on a low-key player here today, and we're going to go with the Edelgard team to get this one sorted out. Yeah, I have thoughts still left over. I haven't spoken about everything that I have in mind, but also this one's actually tricky. I'm going to need to do a bit of setup to get this match going in terms of Tana's positioning and Edelgard's positioning, and this isn't going to be the final product. I'm going to take a minute to probably think about this one. So I'm going to probably cut at some point. Yeah, we got to go up there and get out the units that we need to get out. Just from like replays and stuff, and just looking at like just the layouts of like the runes and stuff, and like from this match as well, this extra slot mythic or unit can actually be a bit of a double-edged sword for the attacking team, because it gives defense an extra unit to potentially snipe if you get to turn 3 and you haven't done anything yet. So
into the surf.
Hold on, let me what do I do here? How do I get in? Also avoid low-key. Alright, I got it. No worries, sorry about the wait there. So this is going to be the layout. We're going to get Edelgard up to take out Celica, and Tana is going to be breaking some blocks. This is actually a pretty decent layout to try to stop Tana from doing her thing, but at the end of the day, you have enough actions to spare. You're able to get through. I guess maybe if you tried to rush this one, you probably would not have figured it out. I took my time to think it through. Like, I want to say 15 minutes off camera. But yeah, I have plenty of time to spare. And also, I'm rested, which is the main thing. I actually went to sleep before this. But anyways, I was saying that the positioning of the rune, well, not even the positioning, just having it on your offense as an offensive structure can be potentially a double-edged sword for you. Yes, I mean, it could help you in a match where you're already winning, but if you're on the back foot and you're losing a match, you probably, or you're about to lose a match, you probably don't want that structure there, because what it does, I've been seeing a lot of random placements. I'm talking about the summoning rune. I'm seeing a lot of random placements for where the 7th unit will pop out. And if you don't have like exact control over that, you'll end up having a unit that's completely exposed. Granted, you are able to move the unit on that turn that, you know, they pop out. So, you know, there's that. But I mean, if the unit is out and the unit can't actually do anything, like let's say you pop out Felix and you haven't done anything yet, and Felix can't get through Shield Fighter, then you're still at a disadvantage, because what was the point of waiting all 3 turns, all 3 of those turns, just to have a unit that can't actually take an action? And that's kind of what I'm noticing. I guess probably Stronger nukes would potentially solve that problem. Like, if you have a stronger nuke pop out on the third turn, then you can actually do something. But then the argument is, why save that nuke until the third turn? That's just wasted actions for no reason. I mean, you could spend that time breaking structures, I guess. But if you're going to wait until turn 3, Bolt Tower, you probably would have still been able to do it with a stronger nuke regardless. And then on turn 3, Bolt Tower, Felix might still not be able to get through Shield Fighter if it's set up properly with Breath of Life support. So,
You're all right.
just looking at it from that perspective, you're probably better off not bringing the extra slot or the summoning rune. It's really more of a win more button for players that are in the higher tier. But like, if you're in the lower tier, then I guess it's good for like sack plays. You can sack a unit and then have an extra unit come up to help you out, I guess. Threat range is something that Joel was mentioning, and if you're, it really does depend on the threat range of the defense. If the defense can't reach you, then it might not be that much of a problem. But then also, if you can't take out the saves, then it ultimately doesn't matter. I guess if you're packing someone like Seth, then he can probably help you out with damage output, but you would still, that's on the that's it really would mean that you would have to be doing damage to begin with. I guess it probably helps best against save balls, but I mean, it all depends on who's in that extra slot. And if you don't have a unit in that extra slot that can actually help you out, then does it really matter? So it's really just leading me back to what I was saying earlier, that the level 2 offense is completely unnecessary because it doesn't really add anything to you being able to win or lose the match. If you were going to win, you didn't need that extra turn. And if you're going to lose, you still didn't need that extra turn. It's an unnecessary addition that does impact defense more than offense, in my opinion. But then also from a defensive standpoint, like looking at the matches that I lost, I still would have lost regardless of whether or not they had the level 2 fence. So I guess it's not that big of a deal. As much as I hate the fact that they did it, it probably doesn't actually affect that much of ether rates, because at the end of the day, Embla plus Micaiah still equals a loss. But I don't know, man. GG's.